to all of you. I'm Cesar Munoz from Jambalaya News Hispanic Radio. When you say the worst of the worst, are those the ones that are incarcerated here now, or are you going to bring them from other parts of the country?
We will take whatever ICE sends us as they go through their roster of some of the worst criminal illegal aliens.
How much is the federal government paying Louisiana to host the detention center, and are they paying to renovate the camp as well?
Look, here's what I'll tell you. This camp was renovated and will be operated at a fraction of the cost of other camps around the nation. That was the instructions by the president.
About the National Guard being brought into New Orleans. Can you give us any details on how soon that may happen and how many troops are you talking?
Well, y'all know me. I wouldn't talk about any operational elements that we have going on as we combat crime from New Orleans all the way to Shreveport. I will tell you this. Both General Bondi and Secretary Noem have been here since January of this year. Remember, both of them visited New Orleans during that awful terrorist attack on New Year's Day. We don't talk about operations that are ongoing. We only deliver the results after. Thank you.
Governor, how long did it take to transform this facility into Louisiana lockup? What was the work that was required to do that? And are there any plans to build another facility like this one in the state of Louisiana?
Well, look, right now I'll tell you that Warden Vanoy and his group here and our staff over at the governor's office worked day and night probably for over 30 or 45 days putting this thing together because we needed a place like this as fast as we could. The country needs a place where we can consolidate these violent, illegal, criminal aliens. We're going to ramp this place up to about over 400 in the next few months. And then we will wait and see what ICE may have for us later.
Governor, when you say worst of the worst, is that based off of allegations or convictions? And what will their day-to-day life look like? Will it be similar to the inmates at Angola?
Well, what would you expect of those who commit some of the worst, their day life to be? What is the day life of the victims, of their victims? At least think about that. I can promise you this, that their day here is better than the day in walking in the footsteps of some of their victims, many of whom are no longer on this earth.
We're NBC on behalf of the pool. What are the detention standards at this facility? I know just bouncing off of that, is this an ICE facility, a state facility? If it's not going to be an ICE facility, will these inmates have access to attorneys?
All of the procedures that we will be following here will be based upon ICE's procedures. Oh, you want to? Yeah, sure.
So this facility will meet all of ICE's standards, including our standards to have attorneys available, and we have hearing rooms to be able to meet with your attorney as well as see an immigration judge with Department of Justice. We also have the law library in this facility, just like every other ICE facility. This is a model for the country of what ICE is expecting from our partners, and that's exactly what we have here. You can walk into any ICE facility right now, and you're going to see the same exact standards, and they're going to be met throughout the country, just as Governor Landry did.
Governor, any concerns about mixing the populations here with the normal population of Angola, or they're just going to be completely separate?
Oh, no. There's no mixing over here. All of the camps are completely isolated from one another. And so this camp will completely be isolated from the criminal civil population.
What is the cost that the state is incurring for the renovations and the operations of this facility, and will any of it be reimbursed by the federal government?
I can promise you this facility will operate in the black at a fraction of the cost that others have done. That was the instructions I got from the White House.
Who will be running the day-to-day operations of the facility, and is it still set up for solitary confinement?
The contract is between ICE and the Department of Corrections and GOSEP, and we will have ICE contractors that will help us run the day-to-day activities.
Was the choice, every headline about this Angola calls it notorious. Was the decision to choose such a prison with such a reputation deliberate to make people want to self-deport?
Absolutely. There's consequences for breaking the law in this country now. The law will be applied, and that's what President Trump is doing that's so refreshing and so different from the Biden administration. The Biden administration prioritized illegal criminals ahead of American citizens, and that's not going to happen anymore. So absolutely, the most powerful thing that has convinced people to self-deport was our showing on commercials and on videos of the consequences of breaking the law in this country now. How criminals that come in here and rape people, murder people, that they will face justice and that they will face consequences and they will have to leave the United States and they'll never walk free in our streets again. So absolutely, this is a facility that's notorious. It's a facility, Angola prison is legendary, but that's a message that these individuals that are going to be here that are illegal criminals need to understand, is that if you come into this country and you victimize someone, if you take away their child forever, if you traffic drugs and kill our next generation of Americans, and if you traffic our children and men and women, absolutely there's consequences. You're going to end up here. You're going to end up here because we're going to throw the book at you and everything else that we have until you're out of this country, and you no longer have the right to be free and no longer have the right to be in the United States of America.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so is Governor, is this going to be a place for men and women? How is that going to go?
No, there will only be males here.
Okay, so where are the women bottom defenders going to go?
Oh, that's a great idea. After this press conference, I'll talk about that with Secretary Noem and Deputy Director Sheehan. Great idea.
Governor, crime in New Orleans is down historically. Are National Guard troops really necessary? And if so, why weren't they sent in earlier?
Look, here's what I will tell you. President Trump is focused on getting control of our cities, but not doing it the way past presidents and other administrations have done, where it's temporary. What he wants to see is permanent safety for Americans. He wants our families to be able to grow up in neighborhoods under which they can allow their children to go about their business on the sidewalks and enjoy the playgrounds and not worry about bullets flying around in neighborhoods.
One question, sorry, next question.
Governor, question for you. Is the new immigration court that's being put up in Baton Rouge a result of this?
No, that facility is an expansion. Look, the men and women of ICE are arresting people at historic numbers, and so we work with the Department of Justice and the General's team every day to make sure that we have adequate space to allow all the criminals that we're arresting to go through the proper immigration hearing process, to receive their due process, and then eventually be repatriated to their home country. And in places we have to expand. We're working beside Louisiana State Police. We've seen historic numbers of arrests through 287G program, and it's time to expand a lot of our facilities, and at the direction of the Secretary and with the help of the DOJ, we will continue to do that.
Can you elaborate on the deportations after the immigration court judge here?
Yes, after an alien has been arrested and they start immigration proceedings, and I think the thing everyone should remember is oftentimes the folks that we are targeting are people with executable final orders, and so most of them already have been issued an order by an immigration judge to leave this country. If they are a criminal alien and they have not gone through that process, they will go through the immigration hearing process and then ultimately be repatriated to their country and be removed as quickly as possible. The folks that are in this facility have committed heinous crimes. They're going through the immigration hearing process and then ultimately will be removed pending the judge's decision.
We know the previous administration allowed millions of people to invade this country that are illegals, illegal criminals, and people that need to go home. Listen, if people wait until we detain them and have to remove them ourselves, they will never come back to the United States of America. That's why we're encouraging people who are in this country illegally to leave now. Leave now on your own. We'll buy you a plane ticket, go home, and you may have the chance to come back to the United States of America. In the meantime, we're going to continue to make sure we're taking care of the taxpayers, the people in this country that that are running this government, expect more out of this government, are the people at home working jobs and paying their taxes. And we're going to find an affordable, efficient, sustainable way to continue to deport people. It's going to take us a while to deport the 10 million plus people that Joe Biden let into this country illegally, but we're not going to stop till we're done. We're going to keep going, keep working, and if we need to figure out a way to get more flights in the air so it can happen quicker, I'm all about figuring that out.
Let me add something to that to be clear. If you commit a violent crime in this country, if you rape a child, if you commit a murder, if you commit a horrible, heinous crime, we are going to prosecute you here and we are going to keep you here for the rest of your life.
Again, I want to thank General Bondi and Secretary Noem, and I will tell you this: if you, okay, I'm so sorry. The line's long. Yes, ma'am.
I'll say a few things and then I'll let Deputy Director Sheehan answer as well. But this specific facility is going to host the most dangerous criminal illegal aliens in the country. So we are moving individuals from other facilities to this place because it is so secure, because they have a reputation for making sure that when people come here, they don't get out and they aren't able to impact the civilian population outside of these fences and outside of these walls. So yes, those individuals are being moved from other facilities around the country to be here so that they are co-located and that this security here that is so excellent can continue to overwatch on them. I would say that we move people to other detention facilities for logistics, based on what country they're being repatriated home to, where flights are going, what we need to do to build efficiencies, and we will continue to do that as we need to deport people out of the country and to take them back home.
Any more? One more? Last question. Sure.
This has been on track. We've been working with the governor of Louisiana here for a long time, talking about this and seeing what we could do to put a presence here in Louisiana beyond what we already had. It's a different facility than Alligator Alcatraz, and listen, we're going to comply with judges' orders, but we're going to continue to appeal those decisions because we believe that was an activist judge who made a wrong decision, and we're going to continue to build partnerships with states and with local law enforcement because we find that the standards that are being met, our federal detention standards, are excellent. These states are making decisions that are good run facilities that are also more accountable, lower cost, and are responsive. They can be shorter term contracts and they can be very moved place to place based on where the need is as far as where we're returning people home to.
Again, I want to thank the President. I want to thank Secretary Noem. I want to thank General Bondi. And as she said, regardless of whether you're in the country conducting criminal illegal activity or you are an American conducting violent criminal activity, if you do it in Louisiana, they are going to be working with me to put you in a jail just like this. Thank you so very much.